friends, it's Nancy, and today we're going to work on the Dark Fairy journal that I'm making. And if you remember in the fairy journal that I made before, I had this awesome die cut of these leaves, this leaf wreath of leaves, whatever you want to call it, and I cut it up and used it. And I said, oh, I've got to use it again in this journal, and I feel like I want to add some right down in here. So I thought before we work on a couple pages, I was going to get in here and cut a piece of this off. And I think I'm just going to use a little bit over here. I thought maybe just a smidge of it right here, I think would be perfect, right? So I'm going to glue that on while I'm thinking about it. So once again, in this journal, I'm going to use this. Oh my goodness, already. The glue's not going to work. I'm going to use this wreath to add greens. And you'll see when we work on a page, also with my wreath came like some die cuts of a plant that I like of a leafy vine or something tall that I could use as lavender to use in this journal. So I got a couple colors of cardstock out, and then I did some cuttings, some die cuts. So look through your die cuts to see what you can add. And now let me just get this on here. I don't want to cover up the word magic, but I definitely want to put that there. And yes, that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted there, because this had the green here, the leaves, and I said, oh yeah, that needs a little bit of that. And sometimes, no, I think that's it. That's all it needs, because then you overdo, right? We'll be using that, I'm sure. So there we go. I like that little addition of that. Okay, so I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, today's the day I'm going to work on a little bit of the fairy journal, and I have my helping hands with me here. So, oh, you didn't get to see the signatures. I did sew in the 2 signatures. I did. I have pieces and I have to hold it. 2 signatures, sewed it in with black cord. So I don't mind seeing this. It doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, I did sew my signatures in. So isn't this beautiful? I think it's so pretty. So there we go. Let me move over. Let me just move over a little bit there. Okay, there we go. Okay, I just love these images. This is from that, I'll list the kits below. I know I have them written here. This is from Fairy Garden digital kit from Gypsy Craftery, and I'll link it below again. So these are beautiful. So on this side here, this was part of it. This was just a background that I had in my digitals. I don't know where this came from, but this is one of Amy's pieces out of her Dark Fae kit. And what I'm going to do is add this on to this here, trim it off, and then this will be a tuck. We'll make that a tuck, but I'll work on that later. That's easy. That's nothing. I did take a dyed giant tag and stitch it in. So the top part of it is here. This is coffee dyed paper. And then Amy's digital. I just love the green and purple. I always love green and purple together. It's beautiful. And this is Amy's kit as well. Amy's. And then this is one of the Fairy Garden images here. And I made that a short page. There's that background again. Now, if you remember when I told you about my little visit to the Paper Source store in Naperville, a town east of me, I bought 2 different color purple envelopes, so naturally that had to go in here. So we're going to have fun doing that. What I'm probably going to do is cover this or decorate part of this and slit this side open so we can use it as a pocket that way. And then Here's Amy's kit. And just like coffee dyed paper, here's an image from the Fairy Garden journal, Fairy Garden kit. Just some lined paper. It has like a purpley, pale purple background. Just something I had. Sometimes I have so many, don't you have so many like maybe older kits and things, and if people don't put their names on their digitals, like when you can print it out, you can cut it out, it doesn't stick in your head. And yeah, I have a hard time remembering things, you know, because they're so old, but it works out. Amy's kit, Amy's. And this piece here is a paper that I folded lengthwise. This was from Jacqueline's shop, the live sale she has on Fridays from Lovely's Crafting Lodge. I always put the link down below because I'll be using some of her tag. That tag is from her. This paper is from her. And it goes perfect in here. So we can decorate it. We can leave it like this and just make it a pocket, or I can you know, I can do something here and make it a pocket, but I don't know yet, so that's fine. This is Amy's kit. Oh, the middle. We're going to work on the middles of the two signatures, which are the rooms in the fairy house. I have to do those first. I love them so much. I want to do it. So Amy's, here's this part. Amy's kit. Here's the other side of the... This is from Fairy Garden. Amy's kit. Amy's, I love that. Here's the flap of the envelope for that color. Look how pretty that looks. So we'll work on that too. Here's the other fairy from the Fairy Garden kit. Amy's kit here. Amy's, just some coffee dyed background. And coffee paper. Here's the other side of that tag from Jacqueline's shop. And this is the other side of Fairy Garden. So then the next signature, here's the another fairy here. And she's so pretty. And then I just had, I don't know where this came from. Do I know? No. I don't know. It's just, I think it's a digital. I don't think it's from Amy's. I don't remember now. Just some music paper, because there's music in here. So I think I just had like a couple odd pieces. I don't remember where this is from. But of course, because if you look at Amy's kits, there's some musical pieces in there. So added that. Here, now here's a giant purpley tag in this part, in this signature. So there's one there. This is Amy's. Amy's. Here's part of Fairy Garden. They're so pretty. Lined paper. That's Amy's. We're going to work on the flap. There's another envelope in here that we're going to work on this flap to give you an idea what to do. This is Amy's paper. Amy's. Here's another piece of Jacqueline's hand-dyed paper, which goes perfect. Coffee dye, Amy's. Here's the other middle, which we're going to do. We're going to do those rooms first, because I just have to. Here's the other side of the hand-dyed paper, which is perfect. Amy's kit. Amy. Here's the envelope on this side, the lighter color one that goes so pretty with this. And I think I've mentioned enough about the lined. This is obviously from Fairy Garden. And here's the other part of the tag, which goes so well. And then here's the other side of the music paper and the back of the journal. Okay, so I have two signatures. I don't even know, I didn't even count how many, oh, let me cut this string here. How many pages I have. I'll cut them at a later time, but it's going to work out really nice. So first of all, let us go to the middle of the signature. I have pieces here. Okay, and I'm going to use my helping hands to help me hold this open to work on like that. So I have all my little pieces that are let's see here. I just want to gently grab this to hold it down. So I have all my little pieces here, and I'm going to put them out. I'll show you what I have so you know. I have 2 fairies. Let me just put them here, and I'll show you what I did to them. I have some of the smaller, you're going to want the smaller images to do these pages to be kind of in proportion with the size of the room. I already pre-inked around all these little pieces. I have some of my greens here and another little bottle. Okay, so I have some greens pre-cut already. Okay, I'm going to just slide them off here for now. I'll take that out so it's not okay, and I think that's it. So I have these pieces here and those fairies. Okay, so when I laid the fairies on the, oh my gosh, when I laid the fairies on, they, you know, because they're so dark, they did not stand out very well against the background here. They were lost. So I wanted to figure out a way to make them stand out. So I picked these 2 fairies here. Now this one is all like sepia colored, and this one here is sepia, but she has some green in her wings here. Okay, so what I did was I took the gold Tim Holtz, well actually it says antique bronze, distress crayon, and what I did was I just kind of put them on a paper, and I went around lightly the whole edge, and it doesn't matter if you get some extra on there. I went around, if you can see, I'll hold it against the dark background, maybe you could see the gold that is around the edge of the fairy and in her wings, and now she pops off the background better. And I did the same with this gal here. Can you see that? If I hold it a certain way, I think you can see the gold. I call it gold. It says antique bronze, but to me it looks gold. So whatever, it works, I think. So that's what I decided to do on the fairies to make them stand out against the dark background here. Okay, so I went ahead and did that. I figured you didn't need to see me do that, so that's what I used, and I'll probably continue to use it on the fairies. And fairies need to have a little sparkle in them anyway, right? Okay, so let's get started. Let's just start making our little scene here. So, and I'm going to use my wet glue. So I'm going to start by gluing this gal down here. So I hope you're all doing well. I am doing fine. Very hot today. The hottest day, and then we're supposed to get storms tonight, I think, and then a little bit of a cool down, and then go right back up to being hot again. And it's summer, I know. It's summer, it's how it is. That's okay. Like I always say, I know fall is my favorite, but I'm very blessed that I get to experience all 4 seasons here in, like, you know, where I live in Illinois here. I'm like in the Midwest, so I do get to experience all 4 seasons, and I'm very grateful for that. So it's okay. Now see, if you can see, I don't know how it's showing up in there, but she's popping off that page a lot better now that I did the gold around her. And then I did the same with her. But let's work on this side here for a second. So, all right, got her down. And I was even thinking of taking this lamp here. I was going to just make some marks in there like this. And that kind of helps that kind of adds something to it too. So, I mean, if you felt like you wanted to, you could highlight something in here, but I feel that that's all that needs to be highlighted. I don't think I need to do anything else. Okay, so then what do I want to do here? I want to put a mushroom. There's like a little pot here with mushrooms and flowers growing out of. So I thought maybe I could put that mushroom in there, but I want to just gently cut the bottom off here so it looks like it's actually in the pot. You know, that kind of thing, yeah. So I'm going to just give that a little ink. I love decorating these scenes that Amy has. They're so fun. I love, and that she has the right size image that will go in them. I like that. Definitely I need my tweezers when I work on this. I'm going to put this in here. So now it actually looks like it's coming out of the pot here. Okay, like that. All right. And then I have one of these pretty purpley blue flowers. I did ink it with the purple, and I thought, well, here's a pillow, and I thought that would make a cute little pillow there too. So I'm going to add that there. This reminds me of, I don't know if you ever played with paper dolls when you were a little girl, you know, and sometimes they would come with their little like house, and then you could dress the dolls and put them in the rooms and stuff. I remember doing that, and this is kind of reminds me of doing that. I'm just decorating with my little furniture here, and that looks cute. That looks like a floral pillow there along with the other pillow, and I like that. And it's a pop of color here too. So far so good. Then I have some bottles here. Let's see. I think this one I wanted to put, I'm going to work over here now. So I'm going to move her out of the way, and I have this bottle here with the lavender. So I'm going to put this right, there's a little bottle here on this table here, but I'm going to put that right there. So I am going to glue that there. So don't be afraid to cover up an image on your page if there's already image there, because when you add these, it just makes it more dimensional. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to put that right there, like that. Oops. Hold on to that better. And then, excuse me, let me get it. I have lemon tea today. Even though it's hot outside, it's cool in the house. So I always like to have my cup of tea in the afternoon, no matter what kind of weather it is. I have these two little bottles here. I've already inked around them, and I'm going to put them on this little stool right here. I'm going to do like that and like that. Something. So they're going to sit on the stool. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say, and this is just me, I love all the fairies that Amy has in the kit. They're perfect. And she does have a lot of like children fairies. Oh. That's why I'm supposed to be using my tweezers, because I can't hold on to them. She has a lot of cute kid fairies in the kit, and they are so precious. I love them. But I'm not going to use them in this kit. I mean, in my journal, because it's a dark fairy journal, and I think I'm just going to use the adults and save the children's for something else. That's what I'm doing. So it's just my preference. Obviously, that's, you know, you can use them, but I am going to do that. So I'm just kind of putting these two bottles here on the stool, and you can see it's coming together, and hopefully you can tell on screen that how these are popping up. So then I have my other fairy here, and I am going to put her right about there, I think. Okay, so that's where I'm going to put her. Like that. So let's get her on. I'm going to put her right about here, standing there. So that's why I made sure I put the bottles first, because they're in the background and she is in the foreground like that. Okay, so I like it so far, huh? And I like how they're sparkly a little bit, the gilding you can see. I also have two of the dragonflies that I'm going to put on. I'm going to put like one here and then probably one here, something like that, or maybe I could do it over here even, but I don't want to make them the same. So I'm going to glue that one down, and I already kind of inked around them. And then we're going to put, see how the greens are hanging down here? We're going to use that die cut of a wreath, and we're going to go over that. That's really gonna make the page, I think. Okay, so I'm going to put this one here like that. Okay, and then this one, I could make it coming down like this way even, just to be different, and I want to make it lower. I don't want to make them the same height. Okay. That was funny that Amy and I both thought of the purple book. Like this one that I'm using is a old Reader's Digest book. That's what I'm going to use. But she said she bought herself a purple book. I'm going to put that right there. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to do the greens. So let me make sure I'm still in frame. I have the greens here. Let me get those over here. Okay, so I cut it apart. So now I'm going to glue that over it. I am going to see how I like the arrangement. That's what I'm going to do. So I could put that there. Oops, that goes this way. And I'm not going to glue across there. I could if I wanted to, I guess, but I could do it that way because right there in that bend here, that would be fine. So if I wanted to do that, I could. And I'm just going right over the greens that are there already. And then I would glue that above the signature there if I wanted to, but it doesn't matter. I don't know, I have enough of it here, so let's see. I could have that going there, hanging down. This one I could have here like that. Let's see. The fun part is designing with this, and then I have this part that I could have here, and then I can use this long one right here. Or let's see, let's turn it this way instead maybe. Yeah. Maybe having that hang that way. I like it. Okay, I'm going to put this one on first. Let's do this one first. I'm going to have to hold on to it for a while. It's going to take a minute to get glue on all this, but it's important that we do get glue on every little piece here. But not too much, so we don't want it oozing out. So I'm going to do my best. And if you get enough on the bigger pieces, bigger parts, the little viney parts, I think will be fine. They won't pull up because they're so small. like I said, and if you have a short vine or a shorter version, just, you know, you can cut it up in pieces to fit any way you like. So that's the beauty of that. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to put this, I want to put this right here so that doesn't interfere with so that's the important part right there, right? And then all of this will go right there. Okay, that worked. Let me just push that down. It really adds something. You can still see what was behind there, the hanging, but you've got some interest here. So that's going to go right there. And this one can come down here. And then we'll do that one. So let's glue this one next. So I always tell you, look through your die cuts and your stamps because you never know what's going to work for what you're working on. And, you know, most of us don't have a lot of the Tim Holtz ones and all that, but if you have some other kind of, what do you call it, other brands of things, you could really look at them and make them work for you. Whoa, I'm glad that didn't land glue side down. Hold on, I gotta grab it here. Okay. Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to put that here. I love how that's adding to this. Love that. And then I'm going to put this one kind of down, hanging down like that. Okay, let me grab that with my tweezers here. That one's going down like that, right there. Okay. I love it. And then this little piece is going to go right here. I'm going to put that right here, like that. Let me just cut this little edge off. Hold on. Hold on. I've got to clean this glue tip off, and I keep dropping. It's very hard to hang on to these tiny little pieces here. And I probably shouldn't be doing it over my good, because oh my gosh. Nance, really. I'm trying to hold on to it without getting my fingers all over the glue, which are already in glue anyway. It's okay. Then if you can't stand glue, right, then you gotta not craft. I really need to clean these off too. All right, hold on. I'm grabbing it like that. All right, so this is gonna go, oh, I'm sorry, I hit it with my head because I'm leaning in to see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna lean that right up to there. There we go. And if you have any edges popping up, you can always, like this one here, I can always get in there with a dab of glue and hold that down for a second. There we go. Okay. I love it. That is cool. Now, what else? So I love how this looks. I also did cut, and I think they're over here for the next page. I had part of the same die cut set that I'm using. I had little sprigs And I said, well, I'm going to cut those out of purple, and that'll be my faux lavender, but I don't know if these are going to work here. Too late now. I'm going to leave it because I thought about it, but I'm going to leave it for now. So, okay, there's our middle of our first signature here, and I absolutely love how it looks. I love the greens. I think it's so cool. And the gilding, whatever you want to call it, around the fairies really make them pop. And yeah, I'm happy with this. Okay, let's move to the other signature, to the middle of that one. Now that is here. And I have, I'll show you what pieces I have. This is like a little bedroom scene here. It's got a little bed in there. So let's grab that and that side. Okay. All right. So here, I have greens if we're going to need it, but I don't think we are, because you see what's hanging here is like lavender, wisteria, whatever. So I have purples cut, but I have the small books, some flowers, the smaller flowers. I have a couple of the smaller mushrooms. I have these two smaller jars, the little tiny jars there. And here's like a really small jar. That's what works best on these pages. So those pieces there, and then another jar. Here's another one of the small ones there. Okay, and then I have a small dragonfly. If I could get it out of here. There's like a couple sizes. So here's a small. I don't know if I have two or one. I only see one, I think. And then I have this purple fairy here. Okay, so those are the pieces that I have for this page. And then this is what I'm talking about. This little die set came in the same kit as my wreath. That was an older Stampin' Up! I had. So I cut it out of two different colors of like purple paper, and I cut a bunch of them. And I figured, well, obviously they're longer than what's hanging here, but the beauty of it is, you, like I said, you can cut it to the length you want, and we're going to line the top of that with these. And I hope I cut enough of them to do that. So I'm going to scoot those off the page there too. Oh, here's another bottle, another purple bottle. Okay. And so I'm going to do the fairy, like I told you, with the gold. So I'm just going to kind of, because it really does do something for the edges and makes them stand out. I'm just kind of, because this is like a wax crayon, this one here. You might have something different. So I don't want to, like, you know, dig in with it, but I'm going along the edges here, I think. And I think that's going to be fine. She's going to pop off the page real nice. Definitely going around her hair, her wings, arms, and her dress here, and the bottom of her dress. And it's just enough. It's just enough to make her stand out, I think. Yeah, right, it does, it helps. Okay, so that's that. Okay. All right, so now this, see, it's like a bedroom. It's got the little cot here, and there's a little cabinet with a light, window, table. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put her, she's smaller, but that's okay because fairies are small, right? I think I'm gonna put her here. I will probably put her there. And then the books, I was going to, and I did ink around these already. I think I'm going to put the books here, and I don't mind what I'm covering up on that table there because I think they look cute there. And then I have a couple flowers. I think I'm gonna, like on the other page, there's a green pillow there, so I'm just gonna kind of put that there as part of the pillow maybe. And then I have this dark one, this dark flower here, and I'm thinking maybe I will put it up in here somewhere, like kind of like it's, see the greens around it. I like that. And then I have bottles. I have a bunch of bottles, okay, and a couple of, now the mushrooms, where was I going to put the mushrooms? Let's see, mushrooms. Oh yeah, there's an empty pot right here, and I thought, oh, well, these mushrooms can grow out of it. Yeah, and I might even hit this mushroom here with a little, let me, on the side here, just kind of hit the top of the cap, maybe. Let's just see how that works. I don't know if I did it on the screen, but you could just ever so slightly run that. I don't know. I gotta put it down here and try it. Let's see. There we go. Just a little bit. You can rub it off if it's too dark. How did that work? Well, it gave it a little, barely a little shine. But anyway, so I wanted to put that there. And then, of course, there's a lighter one. So the lighter one will make it pop. But I have to cut them so they look like they're in the pot. So we're going to put those there. And I have a bunch of bottles. And I have a little dragonfly. So this guy, I don't think I didn't hit him with the ink pad. So the ink. So hold on. Let's get that done. Okay. So I thought maybe he could be like by the window here so you could see him. Something like that. Okay, so bottles. Where am I putting my bottles? Okay, so I want to put a couple here. So I think I'm going to put like this, and I'm covering up what's there because mine is more interesting. So I'm going to do that, and probably this one, like a little smaller one, so that looks cool there. And then I have these here. So I think I'm gonna, these two look the same. So I want to put one right there. There's like a little something there. So I want to put one there. That's a pillow, flower pillow. And then these two I'm going to put on this table over here, right there. So I'm going to put maybe the tall one there, like there in front of that pot. And then I'll kind of overlap that one there. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's start with that. Yeah, I'm going to stick that one on first. Okay. So I'm going to put that one here in front of this pot, like that. And then let's get this one on. And that's going to kind of overlap on that one so you can still see the pots of lavender or whatever's growing there. So there's a lot on that table there. I can glue my flower pillow on. So I'm just going to put that right there. Hold that down for a second. You could even put something up here if you wanted to. We'll see. We'll see what we got. Okay. Now, I'm going to, I'll just glue this flower over here, kind of Move this a little bit. There we go. Oh, I can hit that light with some of that crayon, Distress crayon, like I did on the other page. Okay, so I'm going to put that here so it looks like it's growing there and the greens are coming down. And while I have that, since we had a lantern in the other one, I'm just going to kind of hit this page here with some of the Distress crayon there. Okay. Oh, I could even do some over here because there's some flame stuff over here too. Oh yeah, that looks good. There we go. I like that. I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but it looks good. Okay, so there's that. I can get my little dragonfly, and I mean little. Oh my gosh, so tiny. You don't want to lose your little pieces here. Okay. I feel like I'm doing surgery here. Okay, got it. I'm going to put it kind of this way, like right there, like that. Okay. Oh, the books. I'm going to put the books on the table. I'm going to put them right here. They can be hanging off a little, right there. I like them. Let's do these bottles here. They don't have to overlap. Oops. If I can pick it up. Oh my goodness, so little. Okay, so I'm going to put that one here like that. And then the other one will be right next to it. That one's going to go right next to it here. So I don't worry about what's behind it, it's fine. And then the mushrooms, now we got to cut the bottoms off so they look like they're in the pot. So I am going to just grab, where is my Vinta? Just grab I just need some ink on that bottom one. And then cut this off a little bit here. So we don't want to see any white. Okay. So I think I'm going to, I got to cut this better. I think I have to cut it on an angle, you know, to make it look real in the pot, the way it's sitting on the rim. Okay, that's better. Okay, so let's get that one in. Okay, so that one's going to go in here like that. So if you butt it right up to the rim of the pot, see now it looks like it's actually growing in there. And then that one, I'm going to move that. Let's see, it's covering up that little one down there. Maybe I'll cut it even smaller. Let's see how that looks before I. That one would be there. Okay, that's good. Let's get that one glued on. And then the fairy, and then let's work on the top, the flowers hanging from the top. Okay. Okay, now we get the fairy. Now, oh, I forgot this little bottle over here on the table. Let's get that on there. They're so little and they blend in. I couldn't, almost lost it there. Right there. That's going right there. Okay. Now we can do the fairy, and like I said, she's gonna go right here. Right there. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put her right about here. Right about here. Yeah. I'm going to just put her right there. Okay. There we go. Very cute. Very, very cute page. Okay. Now, let's see what we can do with this wisteria coming down. So in the middle here, it looks like it's longer. So what I'm going to do is just kind of start cutting it in a way that we can use both. Maybe if I could just grab it here. I can't see what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. Where did that piece go? Where did it go? Oh, it fell there. Okay. So like, and we don't have to fill it because you can see what's behind it. So I'm just not going to overthink. I'm just going to start gluing this on. So we don't take too much longer. But I want to make sure it's done right. My fingers are sticky, so I have to wipe them, I think. Okay, so I'm going to just start here. And the edge where I cut the stem will be at the top. Like that. Just wipe my hands here a little bit. Okay. And then I have the lighter color too. But let's see, I have this piece here. So I'm going to put this one right here in the middle above where the signature is sewn, so I don't interfere with that. So I'm going to use all the pieces up. So I'm going to put that one here, and it's okay if they overlap a little. That should be fine there. Okay. Here's a lighter one. Maybe we could do a lighter shade here. They're hard to hang on to because they're so small. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me get that one on. That one's going to go over here. And can overlap, that's fine. Like that. And this one I'll cut shorter. So it takes a little time, but I think it's going to be so worth it. It's going to look really, really cool and give dimension to the page. Can even hang, maybe hang a little bit of green in there too. But you see how it's looking? I think it'll be fun. Can even have some green hanging right down here. Excuse me. Let's just get a little piece of the green here. Where did I cut that? Right there. So you're just looking for an intersection of the green, but I could have it coming from this flower here, even like that. Coming down. I like that. Let me grab that on there. Oh, I got a hole here. Hold on, I got to cut that part off. There we go. Okay. I think I'm going to have that coming down right from here down this way. And I'm just having that little stem come right from that flower, so it looks like it's coming right from underneath the flower. See how you can just add, I mean, there's other greens, we could go crazy and do it, but just to show you that. Now let's get a little bit more of the light colors in here. And I'm probably not going to have you sit here through this whole thing, because this is probably going to take me another 20 minutes to glue the top, but I'm going to show you this page and the other one that we did, and then in the next video I can show you the finished hanging wisteria, okay? But let me just get this piece on here. So what I'm going to do, I have more here, as you can see, right? You see it here. I have a bunch of it here, and some of the greens. So I'm going to kind of go along this whole top and fill in with the wisteria, or whatever you want to call it, hanging here, okay? And that's what I'll do. I'm going to let you go, but we'll just look at the pages again. So this is the page in the second signature. We have bottles, the fairy, pillow, mushrooms, books, and floral here with leaves. And then I will fill in the wisteria hanging down from here. That's in the second signature. And then in the first signature, here is the page in the first signature, which is like in the living room. And you can see the fairies and mushrooms. We put some of the gold crayon in there. Pillow, bottle, bottles, fairy, dragonflies, and the greens. Okay. All right, well, that's what we're doing for today. So if you have those pages in your journal, have fun decorating the rooms. They're really a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying that. So I'm going to finish this, and I'll show it to you the next time. So, okay, friends, thanks for hanging with me. I hope you enjoyed those ideas, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye.